So friends, I'm making this wall hanging. So we are going to do decoupage technique with some distressing technique. So before doing the distressing technique, I'm going to paint the base with this Stewart House brown color from iCraft. Any acrylic brown color is fine. You can use camel, Fevicryl, whatever color you want. So one horizontal and one vertical coat. Apply it evenly. Let this dry, then apply the second coat. If you have a hair dryer, you can dry it with a hair dryer. Now with a piece of candle, I'm going to do the rubbing on the background. Just rub it. And now this is cream pie color. It is a little bit off-white from iCraft. So again 2 coats. You can use white acrylic color also, but see to it that the base is covered properly. You can use any light color also, whichever is there in your tissue, but it should be very light, otherwise the print of the tissue won't be seen clearly. Same way, one horizontal and one vertical coat. Don't make the layer very thick, otherwise it will be difficult for you to scrape off the color to get the distressed effect. Let this dry, then the second coat of the cream pie color. So after the color has dried up, I've taken a piece of sandpaper. This is 100 grade sandpaper, and just rub it on the cream pie color to remove the color and get a distressed look. So this is called wax distressing. So I'll be placing the decoupage tissue on the top and here below, so there I won't do the distressing. You can do it later also after you have placed the decoupage tissue wherever you want, but I don't want to remove the white color, the cream pie color from where I'm going to place the decoupage tissues, so I'm not removing the color over there. You can do as much as you want. I'm doing very light distressing, and this is the tissue, so I'm taking a little bit of the white portion also, so that I'm going to I'll be able to do the color merging over there. So since the project is a small piece of wall decor, you can I have to take a small piece of tissue from this. So I've just wet the brush. So for applying the color on the base and on the top, I had used flat brush. You can use 5 or 6 number flat brush, and here I've taken a round brush. Any size is fine. Just take a thin brush. So I've taken one piece. So one more motif I'll take for placing it. Here down I'll be placing one more motif, so maybe the same color. So I've taken this one with the leaves. So you have to tear the tissue so that color blending becomes very easy and it gets nicely merged with the background. If you cut it with a scissor, the sharp edges will be seen. So always tear your tissue when you're going to blend it on the base. Okay, check how you want to place it and then apply the glue. So any decoupage glue is fine. You can use Modpodge or you can use any decoupage Indian glue which is available on many online craft stores. I've got Itsy Bitsy. There is I think iCraft has also got their decoupage glue. I've used Itsy Bitsy. It is very nice. I've used Fevicryl also, Fevicryl decoupage glue. That is also very nice. Glossy or matte doesn't matter because we are using it only for sticking. Whereas some people use it for the top coat also. So then there you have to decide if you want a glossy finish or a matte finish. So here the Modpodge I am using is glossy. For now I don't have any other decoupage glue. I've got only Modpodge, so I'm using it. So remove the 2 extra plies which are there behind. Check the placement how you want of the tissue before you stick it. So apply the glue on the base, not on the tissue, and then place the tissue, the German tissue or the decoupage tissue, and very little of glue, and move the brush with whatever glue you have on the brush over the tissue. Okay, so it gets nicely sealed. Check that the tissue is stuck from everywhere, and I'm going to place a small piece over here. Let me check if it matches. It is looking very different. Okay, this is fine. So you can directly apply the glue on the top if you are very confident, or apply little bit on the base and then apply the remaining glue on the top. Take very little glue on your brush and just move it on the German tissue. But this you do only when you're very confident and the tissue quality is nice, otherwise it will tear. So place your tissue wherever you want. Hold it with the other hand. Lift your tissue. Apply glue below. Then place back the tissue. Okay. Apply glue. Place back the tissue. And move your brush over the tissue. With whatever glue is there on the brush, you have to move it with very little glue. Properly seal the edges, or else when you apply varnish the tissue will come off, and you will have air bubbles below it. Okay. So let this dry, then apply the top coat of the decoupage glue. So using a flat brush is always convenient. Okay, after it has dried properly, the glue which is there below it, leave it for 10 minutes at least, or when you, and just or else just touch and feel if it is dried, then apply the top coat. Okay, otherwise there will be creases. So here I have taken a stencil. This is from Craft Junction. So place it where you want the stenciling work to be done. You need a stencil brush for this. Take the color acrylic or chalk paint, tap it on a paper to remove the moisture in it, and then you can tap or you can move it in circular motions. But removing of the excess color or the moisture from the color is compulsory, so that there won't be any smudging of the color. So you need to have a stencil brush for stenciling, which gives perfect stenciling effect on the background. Check your stencil work before you remove it from the base. Check if you have covered all the design properly. Clean your stencil as soon as you finish your work. So I've taken a cream pie color and with a flat brush, it is a very thin flat brush. It is a 2-number flat brush, not very thick, and with it I'm tapping on the edges of the tissue just to merge it with the background. So whichever color you have used on your background, you have to use the same color. Since here my tissue is white color and I painted the background white, you have to merge white color, that is the cream pie color. Okay, you can use any light colors from the tissue. Now I will be distressing the edges with black color with a small piece of sponge. Take very little color on the sponge, very little color, and rub it on the edges of the wall decor piece. So you can make it as deeper as you want, but just mind it that very little color is there on the sponge, or else it will smudge on the base and it will spoil the base. So initially start with very little of distressing the edges, very little, then you can go deeper if you are comfortable with the technique. Cover the sides of the piece also. So I'm going to do a little bit more of distressing on the edges to make it a little bit more darker. So I've got this ribbon. Just put it from the hole and tie a knot behind. You can put it after the varnish also. Since the black color is drying, I'm just finishing this off. Just wait for some time and apply the varnish. You can use any brand varnish, whichever is available for decoupage. All brands are fine. Itsy Bitsy I'm going to use now, the matte one, for this project. So you can use according to your choice, matte or glossy as you like. I'm using the matte one here. Okay, so I hope the black color has dried. I'll just apply 2 coats of varnish. So if you have any script stamp, you can just do some stamping if you like. So you can tie any sort of ribbon or jute thread if you have, or cotton thread, whatever you like for such wall hangings. And now this is the Itsy Bitsy varnish, the matte one. So with a flat brush, apply even coats. The black color is not dried up somewhere. I'll just clean this up. Okay, so after this has dried up nicely, I'll apply the first coat of varnish. Let this dry and then apply the second coat. Apply the varnish in one direction only.